it pleases the court, Your Worship, I confirm, Your Worship, that we appear on behalf of the accused, Tshepo Ntsimane, and this matter was remanded indeed previously for further investigations, as well as bail information of the accused. I was formally advised by the state that those investigations have been concluded, and we have in the meantime fully consulted with the accused and advised him about his right to bring a bail application. We hold instructions not to proceed with the bail application today. May then the record reflect that we are abandoning the bail application, and we will accordingly advise the court once we are ready to proceed with the bail application on the next postponement date. That will be all for now, Your Worship.
Thank you. So noted, sir.
So today we're here in support of the family of the 12-year-old who was violated by a 50-year-old man who is a community leader and a very much trusted member of the community. So today he temporarily abandoned his bail application, which is somewhat satisfactory given the fact that we have been saying that it would be advisable for him to abandon bail. However, he's done so temporarily, which kind of leaves us hanging in that he might just make a decision at a later stage to apply for bail. And for us, we feel that it would be such a huge inconsideration given the fact that he lives within close proximity to the victim's family. And for us, it would do justice if he just stayed behind the cells until this case has been seen through. And I think more than anything, we're avoiding to find a case where the family's pain gets so worsened. And we're hoping that this whole thing of protecting the perpetrator's identity and faces should be something that comes to an end, because it cannot be that only victims' faces and names are the ones that are spread out there. Something needs to change, because the more the perpetrators' faces and names are known, the safer we would be in knowing who actually is there around us.
We're here on behalf of Soweto EFF in solidarity with Roodeport and the family and the community at large of Dobsonville. We're here last week when the case was postponed. We must express our unhappiness about the delay of the court. This is a very serious matter, a matter of public interest. Our view is that the court should be ready and the court should have started on time. However, we are happy with the postponement because our position with this condition is that there must never be any bail which must be granted to Tshepo. GBV is a very serious matter, and we must send a very strong message to all the perpetrators out there that they must never commit such atrocity, and our children and women must be protected at all times. Our view is that men must start talking. We must start having this engagement, and not only when an incident is taking place. The problem is we wait for an incident to take place, we mobilize each other as society. Once it's quiet, we think we have defeated GBV. So there must be a continuous and consistent engagement, especially around men, about the issue of GBV, and have a discussion so that we can understand what is the root cause of this. What's more hurting is that the person who committed this atrocity is an educated individual, someone who's born from a wealthy family. So we don't know, there's no excuse, there's no reason why we can defend GBV. So it is time for men to have engagement in churches, in sports clubs, everywhere where men exist. They must engage about this matter, and we must never wait for a specific time or to be controlled by the mainstream media. When is it important to discuss about this matter?
We are here as the IFP to come and say we are saying it bail mustn't happen to Tshepo. this guy mustn't get a bail, because how many more children are at risk for as long as men like him are outside? So for as long as he is inside, we are happy. Though we're not happy because he's eating our tax money. But as IFP Women's Brigade, Tshepo mustn't see the light. He mustn't see the sun of light. I would say to men in the country around South Africa, it's about time. They are the ones who are now supposed to protect us, because we are weakling. I mean, a 12-year-old, how will a 12-year-old protect himself? So men out here, especially those who've got power, those who are empowered, it's about time they come out in numbers, in flags, in everything, and say no to GBV. If death sentence was still around, I would really, because I don't think and I don't see any reason for us to be here all the time trying to get facts. Facts are there, videos are there, everything on the social media is there. It's shown that Tshepo did it. There's no point. This man must be sentenced to death. Thank you.
So this person, obviously, what he committed to a young girl is something that is seriously unacceptable as a community. He was portrayed as a community leader, of course, because he was apparently a councillor candidate of the ANC. And we are not seeing any accountability taken even by the organization itself, which is the ANC. What are they doing about this case? What are they doing about this member of theirs? So we need accountability from our courts. We have what we call the National Council Act, which is the Gender-Based Violence and Femicide Act, which passed on 2014 on the 9th. It's the 9th Act. So what we want to know, what are the strategies? Because this is one of the cases of the GBV that we're experiencing. Day in, day out, we have those. There's no strategy, there's no plan. We want to know what is the government, what is the national government's plan with regards to this act that has passed in 2024. As we are seeing the number of cases that are rising, now it's even affecting the young children. You can understand the frustration that the family has of this young girl. We need the court to really take its course. Law must really abide, and no one is above the law. The same thing must apply to this man, and he must be arrested, he must be convicted, and he must serve jail time. That is it. Thank you so much.
We are very angry as a community, but we are also very happy that the community, that the suspect is still behind bars and did not go ahead with his bail application. He abandoned his bail application, and we are. It's better for him to actually remain behind bars, because as a community we are very angry. We don't want to see him waltzing around, because that actually even pains the family even more, to see the suspect roaming around the streets as if there's no justice for victims. So we are happy that he has abandoned his bail application, but we're also saying that as much as he has abandoned it, we will follow it up and make sure that even if he can go and reinstate that bail application tomorrow, we come back and we are here to support the family, because we know that in such cases there's a tendency of people abandoning their bail applications when the case is still public, and once the public goes away, they go behind and apply for bail, and they do it quietly. So look, firstly, we need to strengthen our investigations. I think where we lose these cases is at the level of investigations. We have lazy investigators sometimes that do not even put effort in going to check and going to investigate the case. They will sit there and just bring their common sense to the court, which ultimately leads to the courts not being able to sentence these perpetrators. So we want to call on the subs to make sure that we go and retrain our investigation officers if we must, but something needs to be done from that level. But also we need to make sure that we get harsher sentences for perpetrators, so that they get sentenced to life. There must not be any sentence that is shorter than life sentences for perpetrators of gender-based violence, because we cannot continue to nest these things and continuously come here and picket as community members, but we are not seeing change that is happening. So we are very clear that we want harsher sentences for perpetrators of gender-based violence, and in fact at some point they must not only be charged with rape, they must also be charged with attempted murder, because once you rape a child to the point that they are even unconscious, what is your intention? It means that you are intending to kill that child. So they must in fact be charged with attempted murder, and we want to make sure as the ANC that we fight for those rights of victims to actually be protected, and even this tendency of making the victims public but the perpetrators are always protected. The media must not publish the faces of the perpetrators. The media must not do all of these things to perpetrators, whereas the victims' names and the victims' pictures are forever in the news. Those things need to come to an end. We need harsher laws to deal with these cases of GBV. Yeah.
I think this is something that will continue happening as long as everybody knows that they get a slap on the wrist. So for now, until something harsher, you know, I've always been saying that medical parole is something that, I mean medical castration is something that ought to be considered, since we are a country that does not believe in an eye for an eye, you know, but we also ought to come down hard on people who find it so easy to take other people's lives, and yet theirs should be spared and their emotions and lives should be cushioned. We believe that something harsher ought to be done, because when people know that they are facing something that will damage them for the rest of their lives, they will definitely, it'll trigger something that'll allow them to stop them from doing such heinous actions and crimes.
We are here today to make sure that we support the justice system as a South Africa, that the men of Tshepo's caliber, it's not actually that kind of a person had to be integrated into our community. NjengeSukuman Sakhe Community Project, we are advocating and siyacela kumadoda kubantu besilisa, siyacela bafowethu akwelehle udlame ebantwaneni, akwesiba amadoda emphakathini, amadoda aqotho aprotecta ingane nabantu besifazane.